Right, so I just ran out of 10 minutes, ran up to my 10-minute limit on the previous video, so this is more about Zen Buddhism and just Buddhism in general, really. So I've been talking about the cyclical existence and stuff and the wheel of life, but I've often heard the wheel of life referred to as the buckled wheel of life, you see. And the reason of that is neutrality, basically. So think about a cycle. Ideally, a cycle would have a circular shape or a circular flow, whatever you want to call it. Okay, and you'd have an opposite on either side of the circle. You'd have an opposite there as well. Whichever way, like a compass. Okay, you'd always have an opposite. Do you see what I mean? Right? And two things means you've just got one and the opposite. So that's perfect, basically. So if we had a cyclical existence or a wheel of life, if you like, with just two, just opposites, then it'd be perfect, and it wouldn't be buckled in the sense of the buckled wheel of life. As I say, a lot of people say the buckled wheel of life when they describe life. So basically, what's causing it to be buckled is neutrality, you see, because it's the third option. So if you notice, if you think about the cycle of life as a wheel, okay, this is old. This isn't me saying this necessarily. It's the Buddhist wisdom stuff that I've read. Okay. So all the spokes come together, but it's the centre that makes them work. Okay, so you can have the opposites on this circle, as I said before. The opposites always follow each other perfectly, and that would be perfect if there was just the opposites. But you can't have opposites without the neutral in the centre, and that's the third option. That's the chaos theory. That's the random stuff in the universe. That's the ultimate removal from self and stuff. It's just the complete neutrality. And if you notice, a lot of Buddhism, there's two types in general, and the general ones are the positive, love kind of Buddhism, or the neutral, Zen kind of Buddhism. It doesn't really exist a negative because that defeats the object of being positive and being spiritual and stuff, okay? So there's the neutral Zen, and there's the positive, the extreme positive. And those two, if you think about atoms and stuff, just to put this into context, okay, electrons, although we get 3 electrons within the nucleus, potentially anyway, in theory, the main structure of an atom is a positive and neutral nucleus, okay, in the centre, and around the outside is an electron shell, which is actually negative. So negativity is on the outside if you look at it that way, okay? So what I often refer to as personal space is actually my electron shell. Well, it's literally my electron shell in the way that I see it, okay? So basically negativity is on the outside and positive and neutral in the centre. In the centre, in my heart or something, I suppose, and my soul and everything, okay? And that's the reason I think that well, the reason I think Buddhism is these two types is because of that. So you've got the kind of Buddhists who are really the love ones, which I'll call them. These are the kind of people who sweep the floor before literally every single step they take anywhere. They'll sweep the floor so as not to harm or disrupt any life on the floor, not to squash any bugs underfoot, any ants, or I suppose even to an extent sort of bacteria and stuff. It's all about just absolute complete respect and reverence for life in the positive sense, okay, and this is right in the centre. And then not necessarily on the opposite, but the next one to that is the Zen kind of, the hacking your own arm off type of thing and the chopping your finger off, the sound of one hand clapping, or the absurdity, or the random stuff, or the stuff that doesn't seem to make sense, doesn't seem to matter, and the complete removal, okay, removal's the key point here, right, the complete removal of self, the removal of wants and desires, results in neutrality eventually. As I've said before, people say don't sit on the fence, it hurts. And that means it's difficult to be neutral, because you'll always be pulled, as a human being anyway, you'll always usually be pulled one way or the other. You'll be pulled into, I don't like this, I don't want to dislike this, but I don't like it, or, oh, I just love this. Like for me it might be I love this girl, or I love this, I don't know, this party I'm going to, or this music or something as simple as that. And you'll always be pulled in one, so it is difficult to be neutral. And as I say, there's a reason why people go up these mountains and stuff. Okay, without being too cliche about it, I want to go on a mountain man and everything. There is a reason, a very, very good reason why people go to mountain retreats and why people become hermits in caves and stuff, it's because daily life distracts you, basically. It doesn't so much pollute your mind, I suppose. Saying I don't know, because as I say, I've been enlightened before, and I was actually going to disappear at one point. I just contacted a Buddhist monastery and just thought, right, well, I'm actually along the lines of the Tao Te Ching instead, which is different to Buddhism, in a more folk and earthy sense. I was just going to disappear. I just thought, right, I can't put it into words, because what was happening to me was my head just broke. It just opened up, and to say I've never been the same since is like the understatement of the century, you know. And that was enlightenment, and I don't know, I had to fight it in the end, because obviously I live in the 21st century. It was just after the year 2000, really, I suppose, as well. I was 21 at the time, and I was just going to disappear, because I'd become absolutely neutral. That was the thing. At that point, I was neutral and positive at the same time, I suppose, really. I wasn't sure which way to go, either the love kind of Buddhism, or the love kind of ultimate thought type thing, or just the neutral, the absolute neutral. You know, I thought, you know, shall I just disappear? Just neutralise myself, just never see my family again, or what? And I really did think this, I really considered it as well for a very long time, okay? Right? And eventually I just thought, right, alright, regardless of all this that's happened to me and everything, and I'm still me, I'm still pro, I've still got all my mates, and I love my mates, I love my family, and I'm not leaving. So I decided to go on basically what I call the Ned Flanders route, really, which is why I am like I am. This is why I try and like everybody. I try and understand everybody, even if I don't like them, okay? If I don't like a person, I'll neutralise them rather than dislike them or be negative about them, okay? So I still reserve that option, so I try and work mainly, ultimately, on the positive, okay? If I can't be positive about a situation, I'll attempt to neutralise it somehow or other, either not thinking about that person or situation. And also, I just try and keep myself out of things that cause trouble. I can't say, oh, I'm a really nice person, because I'm only as nice as my last action. I can't say I don't diss people, because that's only as true as the last time, or the last period of time when I didn't put anybody down on telly or something and say, oh, so-and-so really annoys me or something. But the point is, I keep the negativity to a minimum, okay? I'm never ever going to be able to get rid of neutrality 100% unchangingly. I'm never ever going to be able to be 100% positive in every single thing I do forever, and there's never going to be a point at which I can just say I am positive. That is never going to change, you know. There's always going to be the possibility for neutrality and negativity as well. Okay, now neutrality doesn't really matter in the sense of my interactions with people, because neutrality means I'm not interacting with them. It means I'm neutral in relation to a person or a situation or whatever it may be, or a thought pattern or process. But the negativity I can avoid to an extent, because if someone is negative towards me, I'll try and walk away, which is neutral, rather than go up to them and say, you are this, you are that, oh, I think such and such about you, and swear at them or whatever. I try and avoid that as much as possible, because that's on the outside again. So if you think about the nucleus again, once again, atoms, okay, we're tying this back into physical real world here, right? So we've got neutrons and protons in the nucleus, okay? And then on the outside we've got electron shell, which is negative. So negativity is, for the majority of the time, is on the outside of a person, okay? That's why you can see the good in a person, because every person has literally got the potential for good within them. Good meaning positivity, okay? So every single person is made up of negative, positive and neutral. Energy, change, potential, I don't know what to call it. The thing is, it adapts to whatever you're talking about, basically. That's the point of pro theory. So everybody has got good within them as well as bad, as well as neutral, okay? And that's extremely important to not forget and to remember. That's what I think anyway. So I'm up to my 10-minute limit again already, so I'll just turn it off there, I reckon.